High Guardian Spice has been a disaster of a series ever since they announced it years ago. It took them almost 3 whole years to decide it was time to release it, hoping that people would have forgotten about it, yet they didn't, and every trailer, image, and post made about this series have been ratioed into oblivion. But of course, we knew when it released it was going to get terrible ratings, and of course, news outlets are writing articles saying the hate surrounding this show is only being done by anti-LGBT trolls because they can't accept the fact that very few people like this series. I have a couple of different things that I want to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month or supporting via memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So the main article that I want to read is a We Got This Covered article. A lot of people don't like We Got This Covered. They put out a lot of articles on a lot of different types of rumors that end up not being true, but it says Crunchyroll's newest anime gets review bombed by anti-LGBT plus trolls. It's no secret that Crunchyroll is one of the best ways to watch anime online, so when they announced they would be creating their own original show, High Guardian Spice, many were excited to see what the company could produce, and it's true, a lot of people were feeling very hopeful about this show. A lot of people were very curious to see what Crunchyroll was gonna come up with. But it says while the show originally faced tons of controversy when it was first announced, it was quite obvious that many people on the internet were incredibly excited for this show, with many users on Twitter and reviewers alike showing their support. Now, it is true that when they initially announced this show, it did face a ton of controversy because a lot of people thought that it looked very bland, very boring, very generic, and a lot of people didn't like the narratives that this show was going to push. And on top of all of that, a lot of people didn't like the creators of this series, but a lot of the people who were initially defending it haven't showed up to give it positive reviews because right now the average rating on Crunchyroll's website is a 1.5 out of 5 with only 25-star reviews. But going back to the initial article, they decided to link a bunch of people giving it positive feedback, saying things like, High Guardian Spice is such a special show, with lots of smile and heart emojis. People saying things like, High Guardian Spice is here, a gentle, comfy, magical girl coming-of-age series with some pleasantly overt LGBTQ plus representation. If you like this type of show, good for you. You should watch it, you should enjoy it, you should leave it positive reviews, but it doesn't seem like there are a lot of people who loved it, especially given the ratings, because it's got 194 1 stars, 14 2 stars, and only 9 4 and 25-star reviews. But it says, however, if you look at the reviews and the comment sections for the show on Crunchyroll, you'd get an entirely different picture. It seems that many anti-LGBT plus trolls angry about the positive representation of queer people in the show have taken to leaving as many negative reviews for it as possible in an attempt to sabotage High Guardian Spice before it can take off. Now, clearly the person writing this article liked High Guardian Spice and wanted to defend it, and they're pretty upset over the fact that people are giving it negative reviews. So you'd think with all these heavy accusations they're making, they'd provide as much evidence as possible, but this show has got hundreds of negative reviews, and the worst part here truly is the garbage journalism, because they made an article about anti-LGBT trolls leaving negative reviews on the show, and only 2 of the examples they put into this article even mention the terms LGBTQ. Clearly, this person wanted to write an article about the show getting negative reviews and needed to spin it in a specific way, and they literally only provided 2 reviews that have the terms LGBT. They even showed a review where the poster just copy and pasted the word bad a ton of times. I honestly wish that I could say I was surprised by this, but I'm not. These people call others anti-LGBT trolls because they can't accept the fact that people don't like this show. People were expecting a more Japanese-style anime, and instead they got a Cartoon Network show similar to Steven Universe. They took the general idea of Little Witch Academia and tried to put as many narratives as possible within the show, thinking that people would watch it for the general theme, and Little Witch was really great, but High Guardian Spice absolutely sucks. Visually, it's bland and boring, the story's mediocre, and I don't want to watch an anime that exists to only push narratives in my face. There's way better series out there, and people do not like this series, but of course, media can't accept that. Let's head on over to Crunchyroll's website, and it says average rating 1.5 out of 5. I just want to point out that you'd think if people were so excited for the show and loved it, they'd reverse review bomb it and give it hundreds of 5 out of 5s because people are giving it 1 out of 1s. But clearly, the people who were defending the show months and even years ago aren't showing up to watch it and review it. People are saying things like frankly disappointed, a 1 out of 5 stars. Okay, so for full clarity, I barely managed episode 1. I've had an anime in the past where I could not push past the first episode, and it usually came from one of 3 things. The artwork is severely not to my tastes, the voice acting is really jarring, and the writing seems lazy, contrived, or just plain boring, and this reviewer's basically saying all of those things match High Guardian Spice. People are saying things like, why Crunchyroll, why? Well, the title says it all. Why is this a thing? The production quality of this show is lacking, the writing is lacking, the animation takes more from Western anime than Japanese anime. I'm going to cancel my subscription to Crunchyroll over this. A lot of people are not very impressed with this series right now. At the very bottom of the page, someone gave it a 1 out of 5 and said, I'm not surprised that this is a dumpster fire. High Guardian Spice is the anime equivalent to a flaming dumpster fire. Why was this politically charged, trashy Western Cartoon Network show put on Crunchyroll? It has zero reason to be on the service, considering that it isn't even made by a Japanese animation company. The other originals aren't this bad, so what happened here? None of these reviews talk about LGBT and the representation being bad. None of these reviews, even on the front page here, talk about that at all. We all knew that High Guardian Spice was going to be a disaster of a situation. Years ago, when they first announced it, a lot of people were not very interested in its concept. A lot of people thought that it looked very bad, the writing seemed poor, and overall the quality just wasn't there. But it doesn't seem like the people who were defending it years ago are even showing up to watch it now. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.